Hello everybody, this is the #1 potato boss from MogPod Gaming, bringing you our Opus IV Lightning Set review. With here today is Garrett,
Hi.
Kevin,
Hello.
and Chris.
Hello, my voice is still there from the water review.
So Jared, why don't you tell us about our rating system?
So we have a a two-part rating system. The first number will indicate the power of any one particular card, and then the second statistic will indicate its power in a deck built around it.
Let's get into our first card, the Archangel EV. It's a 3-cost 6k forward. If Archangel EV deals damage to a forward, increase the damage by 2,000 instead. If Archangel EV is dealt damage by a character, reduce the damage by 2,000 instead. Like, this is a hero card, you know. We want this to be good, but there is just not enough there, you know?
It's an Earth card masquerading as a Lightning card. There seems to be one of those in a lot of the colours this set, because
Yeah.
Fire has one too. What's
no,
going
no,
on?
it's shared. It's everyone has a little bit of each.
There's a little bit of Earth inside everyone.
No, not just Earth. Other elements as well. Other elements as well.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of good against ability removal like Vivi, Stola, things like that. But other than that, it just dies to an Ifrit.
Ishtola just can't kill it unless the damage is buffed, right?
But being a 3-cost, even if it was just a flat 8k, it might not even see play then. You know, it's really difficult. And also on top of it, like you can combo with Hecatonke or Robon, but you might as well just get an 8k by that point. You know,
All right.
So what would you give the score, Kevin?
I'd probably give it a 1.
A 1. Cool. Next card, Jared. Do you want to list?
Sure thing. We've got a wonderful category 7 character, a 5-cost 8k forward called Azul. He's his job is Tzvietz, and he says, when Azul is put from the field into the break zone, choose one lightning monster of cost 3 or less in your break zone. You may play it onto the field. So, that's pretty cool.
He finds Behemoth or Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brings them back.
Find
them.
Brings them back, which are both very good cards. You know.
I'm really wary of high-costed cards that get their value on break.
Yeah.
Because there are so many answers in the game to 5 jobs without breaking them.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
right.
Got any
little
bounce
bite.
effects.
And anything that stops them from going to the break zone.
Yeah.
Vayne.
Vayne destroys them.
Yuna from Opus 1, the one that removes them from the game, would stop him from triggering.
And he's a truly 5 CP as well.
Yeah,
He doesn't search anything on entry.
Yeah, but like when he does break, he does bring more value to the table than usually.
And both lightning monsters are very strong.
That's right. And obviously he's gonna get better.
There's 3.
Oh, both are.
Yeoman, but don't really want to. I guess
you're not gonna get Yeoman.
You can.
They're all strong, apart from the ones we're not mentioning.
Anyway,
and it's definitely gonna get better. But I think we all collectively gave this card a 3+0. Yeah. So next card, Kevin, do you want to tell us?
Okay, so this is Usher. He's a 3-cost EX, category 7 Deep Ground Soldier. He's a backup. He searches a card named DGS Trooper or a DGS Trooper First Class or a card named Deep Ground Soldier and adds it to your hand. So he just kinda searches the Deep Ground Soldiers, but he doesn't really have any synergy with them because the Deep Ground Soldiers are in ice and they only buff ice cards. So I'm not really sure if this card will see any play.
We do have a few more Lightning 7 category 7 cards now, so
yeah.
Maybe there will be more synergies later on.
Yeah, there's no category 7 synergy in Lightning or Ice, is there?
Not from Lightning to Ice.
Or Ice to Lightning.
Not particularly.
There's no Lightning or Ice card. I guess the only one they'd play would be Cloud, the Light Cloud.
That's right. Yeah.
And even then, has a fire activation.
Yeah.
Or like Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Right.
Sephiroth.
He's also from 7. No, he is a 7.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I think we just give him a vanilla 3+0.
Yeah, just
'cause
by
he's just a
virtue
searcher.
of being a searcher.
An EX bursting one at that.
Yeah. I mean, you could just put it in a Deep Ground Soldier deck and never play it.
I mean, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, other copies of him can pay for himself.
Yeah.
So our next card is 2-cost lightning backup Earth Star Soldier. It's a common unit, so you can play multiple of it. When Esther Soldier enters the field, choose one forward of cost 4 or less opponent controls, dull it. Yeah, I just think that this card's a little underwhelming.
I think it's definitely tooled for those hyper aggressive, like full of hasty dudes decks.
Yeah. Like, look at it this way, like tempo wise, like for this one turn, you negate your opponent's last forward.
Yeah.
And you develop your backups.
I think it plays into kind of Lightning's strategy of developing and, you know, removing at the same time. That said, I still don't think it's that good.
Yeah, I think we pretty much gave it a 1+0. Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't do enough.
I think there are decks that will want to play it.
That's right, yeah. But there's better lightning backups.
Fair enough.
No, I think there's decks that want to play it, so for that reason I might even give it a +2 on synergy.
Okay. He's still only...
Because it bumps it up. Like,
He still only ends up on
like-
3, so I guess just by virtue of being in Lightning, aggressive Lightning list might want it.
I think it has a home, but we'll have to see.
Next card, do you want to lead us through it, Jared?
Sure, we've got a 5-cost Orlando. He is a forward. He's 9k. He's got the Final Fantasy Tactics category, so that the synergy with Ramza. And he says, when he enters the field, choose one damaged forward, break it. He has an S called Shadow Blade, which is S Lightning. Choose one forward. It loses 7k power until the end of turn. Activate Orlando. So that is kind of neat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on curve, which is really good.
He kills something on entry.
Yeah, he's big and he does something when he comes in, which is, like, generally speaking, if you're big and you come in and do something, you're a little bit smaller, but he's...
Like, he costs 5 to come in and do something, but that doing something probably cost you CP.
Yeah,
that's true.
As well. So, like, it's a big CP. Like, that's your whole turn. I mean, it's a good use killing a thing, but, like, you're probably not going to pay for him with 5 backups.
And
you probably want to play him with something very cheap, so like Ishtala, Balthier, or something like that, or Cactuar.
I was thinking like Ninja.
Yeah,
Backup
or
Ninja.
Backup Ninja, that'd still be pretty expensive. Pretty good.
And then there's enough copies of Orlando for his S to go off, and his S is actually a very good combat trick.
Yeah.
What did we give him?
I think we gave him a 3+1.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, next one. Kevin, do you want to lead us through it?
Okay, so this is Black Wards 3, another one. This one is a category 9 forward. It costs 3 and is a 6k. And it reads, when Black Wards 3 enters the field, choose one forward. It loses 2,000 power until the end of the turn. And when Black Wards 3 is put from the field into the break zone, choose one forward. It loses 2,000 power until the end of the turn.
Yeah, I've thought about this card a lot, and it can trade up.
Yeah, obviously it trades up, and it also... Usually, if you're playing it, it lets one of your other forwards trade up as well. So it can represent potential 2 trades up. And also, if you're on the ETB, you can maybe play it in like a fire deck or something and capitalize on the -2k power to finish something off.
That's right, yeah.
It's actually, you know, thinking about, we just spoke about the Archangel EV, right? It's kind of similar to that card, but this one has a little more impact.
And it's not attached to the forward.
Yeah,
so the forward itself is not valuable at all.
Yep.
And so, like, would you play this Black Waltz or the other one?
I think you would play this Black Waltz because
Instead? Okay.
even though it's not an EX, it just gets
It does more things.
Yeah.
Does more things. So what did we give it?
I think we gave it a 2+1.
Okay. Next up is Warrior. This is a 2-cost standing unit, 8,000 power, lightning forward. If Warrior receives damage, double the damage instead. What do we think about this card?
He's potentially a high impact card. I mean, 2-cost 8k is the biggest we've seen anything with base stats, right?
Yeah. It's about as big as Knight with 5 backups.
It just doesn't need anything to go into it. So, I think there's
Potential
here.
there, especially with First Strike. He synergizes very well with First Strike.
That's right, yeah.
And most of the time, your opponent is investing at least as much CP to kill it.
That's
He's
right, yeah.
very cheap. Like if he dies to a removal, almost every other 2-cost card would have died to the same
Oh,
removal.
there's some really like 1-cost 4K damage that
He-
just
Yeah.
He
but
does die to all of the one cost pieces
Some-
removal,
yeah.
but very few people play those.
Yeah.
So
And-
I mean, unless there are enough reasons, so more reasons than just warrior to run those, I don't think you're going to have to worry about them. You can put him in off of Ingus,
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
could.
yeah, two
and he is
8K
Ingus.
attackers.
Look,
Yeah.
And then you can just attack with him first. If they're blocking him, they're still he can trade up very easily, especially if you don't have a way to deal with him. And he's no worse than like most 2-cost forwards in most situations.
Lightning also has 2 new ways to impart first strike to forwards.
Yeah,
That's
Lancer and Yeoman.
Yeah, that's the next card. But first, what was the rating for this one?
I think it's fair to give him 2+1.
Okay. So next card is Lancer. Jared, do you want to talk us through?
Sure, Lancer is a 2-cost standard unit backup. It has Dull, put Lancer into the break zone, choose 1 forward, it gains first strike until the end of turn.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I
Yeah,
guess.
this is one of the aforementioned ways to give it first strike.
Yeah.
It's just an alright onboard trick. I mean, people have to respect first strike.
Mhm.
Yeah. Especially since you can follow up with like if they block, you can follow up with like a Lulu activation,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
or a whole slew of things that Lightning can do.
Mm.
This is a lightning 2-drop backup that easily breaks itself.
Yeah.
Lightning doesn't have any of that at the moment.
Yeah.
Not before it was 4.
Well, easily, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
all the things like the black mages are you have to invest CP to break them.
There's a cost to it.
Yeah.
Usually quite costly as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a little annoying, I suppose, because you might not get value out of it if your opponent can still interact with that forward.
That's right. Yeah.
And in that way, it's definitely more costly than like Yeoman.
Yeah.
Or McKee.
Or Mackie, yeah.
Yeah.
But this I mean, comparing it to Mackie, this can give you a non-lightning.
Yeah.
forwards.
And it can also
First
do it
strike.
on the block, which is possibly better because you can block
Yeah,
multiple
more
things.
more
with first strike.
flexibility, I think, is usually better.
Yeah, it definitely fits in some Lightning decks. Not all, but some Lightning.
Some lightning decks that can utilize them, and maybe some lightning X decks as well.
Yeah.
What was our score for Lancer?
2+0.
2+0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next card is Dice Dark. It's a 3-cost. It's a 3-cost 6,000 power forward. It's a knight. It's a Final Fantasy Tactics forward. When Dice Dark is put from the field into the break zone, choose 1 active forward opponent controls. Deal it 7,000 damage. I like it because it's another Final Fantasy Tactics forward. It's another card in the Knight's deck, but it can trade up.
He has lots of relevant, like there are lots of relevant parts of for him. He's a knight. He is a tactics forward. There's lots of cards that already interact with knights. Tactics got Ramza last opus, and he's proven to be a very popular inclusion in a lot of lightning decks.
Yeah.
And his auto ability is not pointless.
That's right. Yeah.
He can trade up to almost anything if he attacks, and if you just kill him with. He has especially good synergy with the new 3-cost deleter.
Yeah.
So you can just put him into the break zone, break a 3-cost thing, and then deal 7,000 damage on top of that.
I said in the previous element review that I tend to make a knight deck every time an opus comes out. I haven't felt as compelled to include Earth Knights in the past, but that interaction does make me want. Like, I want to play my Dice Dark and then my deleter. That's an interesting interaction.
Yeah. It's definitely strong. So what was the thing that we gave? The score we gave?
We gave him a 2+1, obviously because of the knight synergies.
Yeah.
But he has lots of the drawbacks of being a slow on break effect forward.
Yeah.
So our next card, Jared, do you want to go?
Sure, I think we've got this the 2-cost monster called Dragon. It reads: Lightning puts Dragon into the break zone. Choose 1 monster of cost 4 or less, break it. And Lightning generic put Dragon into the break zone. Choose 1 forward of cost 4 or less, break it. Exceptionally powerful monster.
This is one of the first card spoils, so
Yeah.
I assume most of our
Everyone
viewers
knows about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much more to say. It's a you pay half the Odin up front,
Yeah.
You can pay the rest of the Odin later on, and you can
Yeah.
do more stuff on that turn.
And it's very cheap. It can kill all the monsters.
I think the more interesting thing to talk about now is where it sits in relation to other cards that can interact positively with it, right? So, like we brought up Azul earlier. Are there any other cards that you guys can think of? Gau's good with Dragoon.
Gao,
Dragon,
very good with Dragoon.
Dragon. If it's his monsters.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
Because I think, would it be fair to say right now that this is probably the most powerful monster?
I would
I
say
think so. Yeah.
In terms of its effect, I mean.
Yeah.
It's
It's
pretty good.
Flan is
Flan
pretty
is
good,
very
but
good.
Flan's good for like kind of different reasons.
I
Right?
tell you
Dragon's
what,
just a blanket answer. It just goes everywhere.
I'll tell you what it's not, the Earth Goblin.
Alright, well,
Okay, so it is quite a lot of the monsters cost less than you would pay to break them, so it's not perfectly efficient to use Dragon to break the monsters, but those monsters are indexed for a reason, and generally you want to break them.
what I do like about this, and I know a lot of the monsters follow this scheme, is that I like that it doesn't have to dull to use its ability. I know it's not super relevant on Dragon, but there are a lot of those cards that can make, like there's Kefka and what was her name? The
Realm
fits in those decks and can be turned into like a forward as well, right? Which means
That's
its
right.
ability isn't turned off by the fact that it's dulled.
attacking. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. But like when this card sees more play, maybe a remove would see more play as well.
That's true.
They also go, and they probably go together as well.
They do as well, yeah. So I think this is the highest ranked card that we did in Lightning.
Yep, 5+0.
5+0, yeah.
Not much to say. It's just good.
Yeah.
It has to be a consideration in any Lightning or Lightning X deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really get much better. It is what it is.
So Kevin, what's the next card?
Okay, so the next card is Nashu. It's a 2-cost backup from Final Fantasy XIV. It reads, the card name Hildebrand you control gains haste, and as dull, choose one card name Hildebrand you control. It gains 2,000 power until the end of turn.
It's the Fran for Lightning, I guess.
Obviously, the effects itself are quite worth it, because haste is worth 1 plus 2,000 power is worth quite a bit more. So it is good if you have Hildebrand.
If you're running Hildebrand, you would want to run this card.
But
But
Sort
like,
of rests on Hildebrand's shoulders, right?
So it's probably not going to be that good. I mean,
don't be sad to him.
But even then, even if you are running Hildebrand, this is probably not going to be super powerful either. So I think that's why we gave it just a 1+0.
That's right, yeah. Okay, so the next card is Ninja. Ninja was spoiled before in the starter kits. It's a 2-cost lightning forward at 3,000 power that has haste. Obviously, it's an amazing goal-based target within lightning. There's not much more to say.
It's just the haste forward. It's just powerful.
Yeah. Those same decks that want S-Star Soldier are probably going to look for this Ninja as well.
That's true, yeah. And like, imagine drawing like 3 of these on turn 1.
Yep, that's 3 damage. Obviously, quite strong.
You just have to hope that they don't hit a Cyclops, a Velafor, or are there any other things that punish you?
Maybe.
Well, I'm not sure. I can't think of any right now. Right now.
Most EX damages will kill one of these ninjas at least.
So what's our score?
We gave it just a 3+2. Obviously, a 2-cost haste is just good.
The +2 is there.
It's,
A +1.
Oh, sorry.
3+1. Sorry.
3+1, and the +1 is like for the goal based synergy.
Yeah, Golbez and decks that generally want haste generally want more haste.
Yep.
And the next card is Hildebrand. Kevin, do you want to?
Yes. Okay. So Hildebrand is a 3-cost 7k forward from Final Fantasy XIV again. And it reads, if Hildebrand leaves the field due to your opponent's summons or abilities, return him to your hand instead. Hildebrand does not return to your hand if he receives damage higher than his power. And his S is Mandeville Dance. Reveal the top... it's S and Lightning. It reads, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a forward, play it onto the field dull. If it's not, put it into your break zone.
So he's pretty cool. He's fairly unique as well.
Yeah, he's obviously a fairly insane upside if you get his S off.
Can you imagine in a deck where you've like top loaded your deck with a whole bunch of these high costed forwards, and then you like play him, and then you like S,
Golbez
or X Death, or something like that. It's like
Kefka.
Kefka.
So the potential upsides are pretty insane.
It reminds me of the Kate set from Opus 1.
With
Oh, yeah.
with Nashu as well, he attacks as a 9K and he has haste. So
He's quite strong. in
He's
that
reasonable. This is a reasonable card. I also want to give him the award for being the most fabulous looking forward in the game, at least at this point.
Yeah, that is generally his thing. He does in 14.
He's currently reigning champion for fabulosity.
And to go into more detail about his effect, so if an effect would directly break him or remove him, so like the 4-cost Odin would kill him, would return him to your hand, and if he gets Shantoto'd,
Would a Dorgan?
Dorgan would indeed return him to your hand.
Yeah.
Shantoto would return him to your hand.
Shantoto wouldn't. Oh, it leaves the field.
Yeah,
Oh,
leaves
right,
the field.
yeah.
Due
Cool.
to
I thought
some
it was hit broken. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's great.
But cards that just deal damage to him, like Behemoth, Brynhilde, things like that, they will not.
So the Opus 4 Shantoto will,
We'll kill him.
We'll kill him. Yes, yeah.
but Opus 1 Shantoto will bring him
nice.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zalora as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He does
Zalora.
not die to Zalora.
But I'm thinking about like running him in just an all forwards deck.
Yeah, he's
And then just-
in an all forwards deck though. You can't pay for his S efficiently.
It's
Although that is a minor downside
It's-
to the
come on.
getting a free
potential
forward.
goal bears. Yeah.
Well, because there were those all forwards.
Go best.
But if you're playing Golbez, you've got all these 2 jobs in your deck.
Oh, that's true. So it's probably not
that's
goal
right.
bears.
It's a good lottery.
No, that's what I'm saying. It reminds me of that Kate says from Opus 1.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
also there's also the Gilgamesh from Opus 1 as well that had a similar
That's
ability.
right. That's right. But anyways, what was our score for it?
He is a 2+2 because
2+2,
he's
yeah.
potentially hilarious and has a very, very strong upside if it works.
Okay. The next card is a 3-cost backup EX burst, King of Burmecia. Its job is King. When King of Burmecia enters the field, you may search for one drop Dragoon or a card named Dragoon and add it to your hand. I think this is the card that Dragoon decks were lacking,
Yeah.
and now they got it. And now we can see those tribal Dragoon decks.
Actually,
flourish.
Dragoon deck's got this King and Brain, which searches a standard unit as well, in the same set. So
and
they got a
people
lot of
usually
searches.
run Lightning Water because of the Rosa King.
Yeah.
synergy.
King
The
synergy.
thing was though with the Dragoon deck, which is another like tribal deck I've tried to push before. The cards you need. There are some cards you need for it to work. Like the 4-cost Cane is what stops you from having these kind of under the curve Dragoons.
Yep.
Like and it pushes them into a position where they just suddenly can run over your opponent because half of them have first strike or can gain first strike, and then he can also find Freya, which once you've set up
Your Dragoon board.
you can potentially nuke their board.
Yeah,
and then you can S, and then that's it.
Yeah. Search for the S.
I'm actually also thinking about running him in the Mono Lightning with the original Opus 1 Cane to search for another S one. Because the Opus 1 Cane is, I think, is going to be much more relevant. I hope so. It's going to be much more relevant in this Opus. Because
There's a lot of 5Ks, high priority 5Ks around.
yeah, and then having that as an EX or as an ETB is going to be strong. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you don't run that King, you can run the 3-cost Hero King from Opus 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we can do that little insane double interaction with
yeah.
Hope.
I guess you could do that. Yeah.
Go watch our episode 2 if you want to know more about that.
Episode 2 of the
podcast.
podcast. Yeah. So yeah, what was the score, Kevin?
It is 3+0. It's a searcher. Same.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So Jared, do you want to tell us the next card?
Sure thing. We've got a 3-cost monster called Behemoth, and he says, lightning until the end of turn. Behemoth also becomes a forward with 8,000 power, and when Behemoth receives damage from a forward, deal that forward damage equal to half the received damage, round up to the nearest 1,000. You can only use this ability once per turn.
So like, this is gonna kill a forward.
This is going to kill a forward. Yeah.
That's pretty much what it say. You could just say this kills a forward, and then it would have the same line of text. But like it's 3 cost and you pay 1 extra, so it's a 4 cost that can essentially almost kill any forward that they're gonna run into you, or you're gonna ram in this behemoth into them. It's pretty strong. Like it's a very good target for that
Azul
that we were talking about earlier.
So it looks quite like Azul.
Yeah, well, Azul, if you didn't play Dirge of Cerberus, Azul, he usually just looks like a big burly guy, and then he turns into that beast when you have the boss fight with him.
Oh, okay.
Also, a Behemoth or Behemoth, he dodges the removal and things because he's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a huge monster. That's it can be a nice like control dex win condition, for example.
It is
You can-
devastating if they break him, like with the Kafka or something.
Yeah. If he just gets removed for no value, which dragon is a good way to kill this.
He's still only a 3 cost.
Yeah. So
Is it devastating?
I don't know
It's
if
not
devastating is the word I'd
devastating
use.
is not the right word.
Like he's. I mean, it's a bit of a downer, but
yeah.
especially if you have built your deck in such a way that you have relatively few win conditions.
Yeah,
You can have multiple Behemoths.
Yeah.
yeah. You
Oh
can
yeah,
have,
you can have
You can have
multiple women play.
Behemoths.
Yeah, you can like Shantoto, activate your Behemoth.
Yeah. It is a monster that can turn into a forward. Means it has all those downsides of dodging the ability removal, being immune to
Yeah.
most AOE's most of the time.
It's really interesting because we thought that every element is gonna have a way to deal with monsters, and that didn't turn out to be the case.
Which elements have difficulty?
Yeah.
Fire.
But well, some of them.
Yeah, fire can't
Yeah.
exactly deal with monsters.
Yeah.
Well,
And
not-
ice.
not-
How does ice do it?
Ice can freeze a monster.
It is a monster.
Well,
devastating.
There are plenty of monsters that like do turn into forwards as well. So
Yeah,
fire and
fire
ice can
has
both
that, yeah.
kill them while they're forwards.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
like,
the ones that sit there and
like what, like Flan and Ghoul. How are you gonna
Yeah.
get rid of them?
I mean,
Yeah. Oh well, to be honest, every element has monster removal in the form of a legendary.
Legendary
Kefka.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did we give the Behemoth out of?
We gave him a 4+0. He
Okay.
has just a solid card, but with no real synergies.
Okay. Next card is the 5-cost Magus. It's a 5-cost lightning backup. When Magus enters the field, choose 1 forward, deal it 7,000 damage. If you control 5 or more drop standard units, deal it 9,000 damage instead.
a lot of standard units support this set.
Yeah, but
and
like, you know, for you to pay 5 and deal 9k,
that's
like,
good.
It's very good.
Provided you're meeting the standard unit requirement,
Yeah.
it's maybe not so bad.
Yeah. It's
I mean, yeah, if you're running the
If
deck.
your Seymour just isn't hitting enough,
Yeah.
and then you want to commit to the standard unit driver.
Yeah.
you need a lot of standard units for this
I
card to be
think
good.
you're like because Seymour, he's things that cost 3 or less, right?
That's correct.
Things that are like 9k. I mean, let's assume you're putting this on the deck because you're running.
Tons of standard
Lots of
units.
standard units, yeah.
You could
Like-
just have like 4 black mages as backup.
Yeah,
maybe.
assume that it is hitting the 9k threshold. That's dealing with 4, 5, and some 6 costs.
Right.
And it's good for like there are a lot of budget players who are playing like those standard unit decks.
That's right,
This
yeah.
is a good card for them to get. So
Um,
what was our score?
Yeah, what was
Our
our
score for that was 1+2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next card is another Magus.
Yay.
Kevin, do you want to tell us about it?
Okay, so it's a 2-cost standard unit backup. And it reads Dull, put Magus into the break zone, choose 1 active forward, deal it 4,000 damage.
Another lightning 2-drop backup that breaks itself very
Easily.
cheaply.
Yep.
Mm.
And this one's very strong.
Yeah.
It's a very cheap 2,000 damage.
Well, you can compare it to like the Fire Black Mage from Opus 1 that deals 4k. That card's seen lots of play for a long time. And now this is basically the same thing minus the cost.
Yeah, minus the cost, but with a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I could see this running with the Orlando. Like you just have this, and then you can break it, and then
Yeah.
they have a damage forward. Then you play the Orlando,
Yeah, this
put
is
this
one
card
of-
in 1 card, and then you got all this tempo.
This is
Yeah.
probably one of the cheapest ways to activate Orlando in Mono Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we give this card?
I think we gave it a 2+0.
2+0. Okay.
I think it may go up from 2.
I'd maybe be willing to
Maybe
give it a
3,
3, but
yeah. It could just be C play.
Yeah, I put this, but yeah, 3 or maybe 4, just because I'll be thinking about this card when I'm putting lightning decks together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, it goes well with your Onion Knights without L6 and things like that.
Okay. So 3+0.
Even like right here.
Yeah, Ragdia,
That's like 7K.
7k,
Mhm.
dollar thing. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think 3 is
Yeah.
pretty good.
3+0. Next card is Raiden. Jared, do you want to talk us through?
sure. Raiden is a 9-cost summon. He reads, choose up to 2 forwards, opponent's control. remove the first forward from the game and break the other. So this is Lightning's big Behemoth.
The art looks like he's pretending to be stabbed. Like he's got a sword like in his arm.
It is, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's meant to be like a sheath on his back.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
But
sense.
it does look a little bit like he's just
Yeah.
been stabbed through the shoulder.
It looks like he's trying to do a party trick.
Yeah.
I've been stabbed.
Yeah,
I'm one of the things I really like about Opus 4 is just how much of the Yoshida Amano art has been through.
Yeah.
Like almost all of the 6 cards.
Yeah,
I think
all
so,
of
yeah.
the 6 cards.
Except for, like the
Yeah.
Dissidia.
The Dissidia ones.
Yeah.
It's also a category.
Category 6. Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can play it in your 6 title deck if that's allowed.
Yeah. I mean, he's he's like the only lightning card there. Oh, but no, that doesn't matter in
Yeah,
title
it
series,
doesn't
does it?
matter in title
Yeah,
series.
but so the thing about this card is that it came at just the right time when Bahamut got a searcher,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
a dedicated searcher for Bahamut, so that makes Bahamut like less like like better in terms of has a searcher, but this one is better in lightning. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't kill Hildebrand.
no.
Yeah, no, it can't help.
Oh,
it
man.
can't
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Bahamut's way better than this card.
better card.
maybe we underestimated Hildebrand.
Maybe we did.
Maybe Hildebrand could be a control deck's win condition
Yeah, maybe.
He's a really sticky forward.
He is very sticky.
against not damage.
Not non-fire decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Non-fire, non-earth.
Non-lightning,
Non.
non-ice.
No. It's good against lightning. I think.
Lightning's the major, or at least excluding Al Cid, most of Lightning's break effects are break a thing, right?
Alcid is the only way. Well, mostly the only.
Alcid
way
plus
to
his
deal with
buddies.
damage. Yeah, but plus his buddies.
Plus Black Mage.
Yeah, now black. And now.
Opus 2 Black Mage.
oh,
And
there's
Opus
one.
Black Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like the set is forcing, or not forcing, but like opening up more damage-based options for
Yeah.
Lightning decks.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we now actually have a pretty broad selection, so you can pick and choose based on your meta. If you're playing against lots of Hildebrands, you probably are gonna shift to more towards the damage-based stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when I was thinking about this card, I was thinking about cards like Vincent. I was like, okay, Vincent can be broken, but he can still
Yeah.
be removed from game.
So this is
And
this
then-
is a lightning answer to Vincent. Which
Yeah,
they were
and-
pretty lacking.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's very good. Yeah, but they have to draw it, I guess, because you're not gonna
Yeah.
run 3.
And
At least I don't know. I hope you're
Well,
not
if
gonna run
you're-
3.
You would search for summons.
Yeah, if only there was a card you could play in any element that
Yeah,
could find
yeah.
any summon.
maybe on an S that costs 2. And hopefully on the video I'll display here.
What?
There's no such card, Kevin.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Stop
I'm
talking
sorry.
about the imaginary.
Raiden's also good. Raiden obviously is expensive, so it's more of a finisher card. So
Yeah,
Lightning
yeah.
sometimes runs into situations where they just eventually get over your early 1-for-1 remove. Well, like removing one thing a turn, they just manage to splurge out onto the board, and then Raiden can just finish that off and let you push for the win.
Yeah, my usual game plan for playing against Mono Lightning Control has been, all right, well, I'm just going to play 2 things a turn,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah,
only
yeah.
remove 1. But if they get to the point where, like we've been doing that, and they've been developing as they do, then they can write in away my 2 things that I've put in.
And it's still another way to get rid of Renoa on Mono Lightning. Because Mono Lightning, I think, did have a small problem with Renoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything just broke it.
Yeah.
You didn't really want to play
Well,
anymore.
yeah, they didn't have any. Oh no, there was Enuo, but
Yeah.
very few people played Enuo. But so the break effects have been, I suppose, a little bit more poignant for them.
I think this will definitely see play. So, what was the score?
It was a 4.
Yeah, 4 plus 0.
Yep, 4+0.
Next card is Lightning, and we're gonna get our resident.
Lightning fanboy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, well, why don't you tell us about this Lightning?
So, I really like this lightning.
Yeah.
Just because it's really cool and collectible, I think, as well. The power level, I'm not so much sure about, but we'll get to that as we get to it. So, 5 CP, 7k. Category 13 forward, of course, has haste. When lightning enters the field or attacks, choose 1 forward opponent controls. If you control a Category 13 character other than lightning, dull it. Discard 1 card named Lightning. Remove lightning from the game. Then lightning enters the field dull. Or play lightning onto the field dull. So, you get her affected twice the turn you play her, because she comes into play and she can attack because she has haste. So you can play her, attack with her, dull 2 things. You're probably getting through on that turn. And then also, if you need to, you can discard another lightning to dull another thing, basically, because she goes away, comes back dull. For each lightning that you have, that could also be used to dodge removal, because it's not limited to your turn only. So if they go to attack, remove her with, for example, Gaius's attack effect, he discards a Behemoth, tries to do 7k to lightning. Lightning can dodge that and come back, and that's one of the reasons I really like the card. I think it's such a huge flavor win.
It is.
That Gaius kills lightning, and this lightning does something special to get around it.
I'd just like to highlight that it is character, so that includes backups.
Yep, Jill or Mark 13 too.
Or pretty much anything. And
the reason I wasn't sure about the power level of the card is because 5 CP is a lot. It's a true 5 CP again. It doesn't come in and find anything, get anything back from the break zone or anything like that. So it's really expensive, and it's only 7k. But in the decks that want to dull your opponent's forwards aggressively, such as this lightning, that's a really strong end game.
That's right.
It essentially casts the Opus 3 Shiva on your opponent's board and attacks.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I remember when we saw this guy get spoiled, Chris, you said it feels a lot like a fixed version of the starter lightning.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think this is definitely strong enough to see play in the kind of decks that want it.
That's right.
But I don't think it's just gonna go in it, like, because of the evasion clause, similar to Behemoth and Hildebrand or whatever he's called. It could be a strong like control finisher. It's just in Final Fantasy so far that tends not to be how control goes. So
it's
we'll see.
I mean, like, there's obviously a lot of lightnings. There's a lot of good lightning, so you don't even have to play into this game plan until you draw it, or you can even discard this lightning for the other S's that the other lightnings provide. So you can be pretty flexible with your deck building in that sort of scenario. On top of that, you've got Searchers in Ice, Searchers in Earth, and Searchers in Lightning itself, because you can run the promo lightning and run the dual gold talent to search for the lightning. So you can have a lot of lightnings in your hand and in your deck to kind of pull this off reliably. So many Searchers across the whole game, and so many like this. There's a lot there, and someone's gonna make something great out of it.
And it's also just a cool card. You know, if you like lightning, as Chris and Murad do, you can just play with so many lightning. Have like an invincible lightning that does something.
She's gonna be so annoying to play against.
On the note of Duke Cortana finding her, I just noticed that he can't find this one.
No,
It's
he
just
can't.
a Knight of
Or
Etro,
Etro,
as
he
opposed to
can't.
just a Knight.
Yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me when I saw it, honestly. But I think they did that on purpose.
They definitely did it on purpose.
The other thing I wanted to say is that it's a 5 cost, right? So that it dies to Zeller pretty consistently.
You can't avoid the Zeller, because if you try to, it'll come back dull.
Because if it was like a 6 cost 8k, for example, like then it'll be just be that much stronger. But it's pretty good. It's pretty balanced card as well.
Yeah, obviously I think in this deck you don't use it to set up dolls. I think you use it to get a wide board through.
Oh yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's
You have a
correct.
lot of cheap guys,
That's
and then
correct.
just push through with lightning.
And maybe with this deck you run that Esther Soldier.
Yeah,
it might fit in that kind of deck.
maybe.
Yeah.
So what was the score rating, Chris? What would you give it?
We end up giving it a 3+2
Yeah.
because of that logic where I said I don't see, like, if I'm making a lightning deck, I'm probably not going to think, I should put lightning in it. But in the specific style of deck that she wants to be in, that's where the +2 comes in. She's a 5 power card.
That's great,
In that
yeah.
sense, like, she'll be very good in that deck.
Yeah. So on to our next card is another summon, a 1 cost remove EX burst. Select one of the following 2 actions. Choose 1 forward of cost 2 or less, break it. Choose 1 monster of cost 2 or less, break it.
Ah, yes, a fellow Remu pronouncer. That's right, guys.
Oh, I thought he was memeing from last week.
Oh wait, what? Whatever. I say it, whatever comes to my mind. But the interesting thing about this is that It's like a direct of
Antithesis.
Antithesis.
Antithemu.
Antithesis of magic pots. Because like when they play magic pot, you play this, and they lose all the value. Also, it can't break Behemoth. That should be noted. What else? What do you guys do?
It has a lot of relevant targets, most of which that come in this opus. Especially since it's an EX, that's incredibly relevant for this remove, because a lot of its targets have abilities that require it to break itself. So generally, if you target one of those, they're just going to respond by using its effect. But if you get it off EX, they just completely lose that value. Yeah. As well as the breaking a forward of cost 2 or less is incredibly relevant as well. We got some really terrifying two cost forwards that are really annoying if they stick, and you can just remove them for one.
That 2 cost warrior.
We're
talking about
that devastating 2 cost card. I think more things like Mira.
Ramza.
Ramza.
Really nice to have this card existing as a toolbox option for a certain light card that may or may not exist.
No, you know it doesn't exist, Chris. Okay, it doesn't exist. Stop dreaming. Maybe next opus.
But this is just a very strong but kind of situational meta dependent card. So
I honestly I see this being played a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel it. I just feel it because there's gonna be so many people that are gonna run so many like 1 or 2 cost monsters, and this is just like no.
Yeah, it's gonna really shut down the Magic Pot decks.
Yeah.
Because it unlike Dragon, it just matches Magic Pot's cost, so you're not over investing into it.
Yeah, exactly.
They can kill Cleone off of the EX.
Exactly.
Which is really good.
That's pretty funny.
So the power level is not broken or anything, but it's a staple.
Do you still draw the card from the Cleone?
Yes.
Not if it's an EX.
No, you do definitely draw the card. Yeah, because the Cleone, the draw a card clause is in a different paragraph.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay. Okay, so what did we give them? Remove.
Remove got a 3+0, but that's not. It's still gonna see a lot of play because it is just that.
Maybe it is a 4, because
maybe.
Whenever I make a lightning deck, I'll be thinking, remove.
True.
Put remove in here.
Yeah, I think we can give it a 4.
I'm making an aggressive deck, maybe I'll put remove in here. I'm making a control deck, maybe I'll put remove in here.
It's gonna be.
Am I running lightning? I'll put remove.
It's gonna be a staple consideration.
Yeah. Can I produce lightning CP off of my Shantoto Cosmos Mari maybe?
No. Can I play a summon of Garnet or the backup summoner? Do I put remove it?
Especially since a lot of people are going to be playing monsters because of the hype of Opus IV.
At least at the start, guys, play remove. Honestly, you won't regret it.
You can just ruin people's days as lightning players like to do. You don't get to play this game. All your forwards and monsters are dead.
I'll show you not playing the game. Meet my Flander.
It's 4.
Okay. The next card is Ramza. Kevin, do you want to tell us about it?
This is my favorite card of the set. It's a 2 cost Ramza, which is he's a 2 cost 5k, and he's a job knight from Tactics, obviously. And he reads: when a forward you control is put from the field into the break zone, activate Ramza. And he has 2 dull abilities. One is Dull, choose a forward. It gains haste until the end of turn. And the other one is Dull, choose a forward. It gains 1,000 power until the end of turn.
So a lot of combo potential.
Yes, he is just the definition of combo potential. He is the cheapest way to give something haste. And it's repeatable, unlike Goblin, which you can only get really up to 3 copies of Goblin, which means 3 instances of haste. Ramza can just give haste indefinitely until he dies, which he's a high priority 2 cost forward. Dies to a lot of the things we mentioned before. But he has insane combo potential with even the deck I'm gonna make first is going to be Ramza and Opus 2 Palom, which is the 1 cost 2k. When it deals damage, you can put it into the break zone and get another Palom from your deck and play it. And since it goes to the break zone, you can activate Ramza and give the next Palom haste, and then just deal 4 damage in a turn. And you'll deal 2k on every attack, and the last Palom you can play will deal 7 damage on entry. So that's going to be insane if you open that on turn 1 and they don't hit any X's.
Ramza would need haste on turn 1.
You can just give it haste.
Red Mage. Wait, this is lightning. You got the Red Mage backup.
I'm on turn 1. So
okay,
you got
yeah.
Goblin, you got Sage, and you got
Yeah.
Goliath. So you can give it haste on turn
The
1.
other thing that like the opponent has to consider is that he can give himself the 1k buff, so that like if you deal like a flat 5k to him, he'd be like he can save
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
So he's essentially at 6k forward when he's active.
Also, he just makes it so you don't have to invest anything in your combat trick. So if you have a board full of 7Ks and you're attacking into the board full of 8Ks, you can just attack with your 7K, and it's essentially an 8K, because if they block, you just buff it in the trades, and then they die, and then Ramza activates. If
It's
they don't-
it's a half cloud.
yeah.
It's a half cloud.
And a half cloud, if they like counter invest,
That's right.
so, and they win the combat, you just activate Ramza and you can do it again. So essentially, it allows your whole board to get the 1k.
Like the idea of breaking my VV as well.
Yeah.
Starter VVs to activate him.
Yeah, you can break
Get
your
more
starter
little-
VV, give something haste on that turn. And obviously, if you manage to magic pot your gold base, you can give your gold base haste. Because then you'll have like gold base haste and like 3 other haste guys that the gold base pulls, and you'll have.
And keep on attacking with
keep
them.
on
and
attacking with
then
them.
they'll
And there's
that's
also
terrifying.
and there's also some like weird one turn kill combo you can do with like lots of magic pots, Cloud of Darkness, and Ramza. That's gonna be very unlikely to happen though.
But hilarious.
Yeah, but hilarious if it does.
Okay.
I love Ramza.
Yeah. So what was that score for him?
So our score for him was 2+2,
Yeah.
but I think this one's really up for evaluation. It's kind of hard to really grasp the extent of his power.
Yeah, we definitely have to test it out. I mean, all of these cards, we have yet to play proper games or extensive games, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't even gotten the set yet at this point. My first 10 decks of this opus will be Ramses though. Every single color combination, 2 and 3 color combination.
Okay. The next card is a Yeoman. Do you want to tell us about Jared?
Yeoman is the 1-cost lightning monster from the set. He is. I love his job. His job is tilter. And
You'll tilt your opponents.
Yeah.
Or you, depending on whether he gets value or not.
Exactly. You can put Yeoman in the break zone, choose 1 forward. It gains first strike until the end of turn. Draw 1 card.
I just realized, I'm sorry, Jared, to cut you off, but I just realized that this synergizes well with the Legendary Lightning. Because you can just have this on the field. Like, not even a backup. You can have this on the field, and then the Legendary Lightning will have something to
Yeah,
go.
it's a 13
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is a 13
There are a couple of
character.
13 monsters, aren't there? There's
No, but like, but
It's very well.
yeah, but like, no, but this is like in Lightning, and like,
Very
I'm not,
cheap.
yeah, it's cheap, and you know,
Yep.
it's there.
No, it's certainly not a bad card.
Yeah. So what other? I mean, like, this is just a battle trick, right? So, like, you just leave it there, and then people are afraid to block or.
Also, it's just something it's another onboard trick your opponent has to play around.
But
and
they can play around it, which is a downside.
yeah.
Okay. So what was our score for?
We gave it a 1+0.
Oh, okay.
Is everyone still cool with that?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm okay with that, but it has a place though. Like the ranking of 1 doesn't necessarily mean that it's unplayable. It just means that
like
let's.
It should mean that.
the
So maybe
difficulty-
we should rectify
the
that.
difficulty with Yeoman is like first strike is a less valuable ability in most situations than haste. So
Yeah.
like
Worse
which is
than
what
Goblin.
Goblin does.
Yep.
I mean, first strike it's not going to help. First strike isn't going to help you
Trade
on
up.
its own. If your forward is still smaller than the attacking forward, so in that way it's even kind of less valuable. Its effect is less valuable than the Earth Goblin. And it like the redeeming characteristic is the draw card effect, but even that can get shut down if your opponent removes what your target in response.
You X-Death, then pop all 3 Yeomans on your X-Death. And then you draw 3 cards.
Oh yeah.
Woohoo!
On the turn that you just spent like 100 CP.
Okay. yeah. He's just. I guess you can bank him up.
Yeah, I just
Maybe.
call it, I think of him more as a resource bank than the first strike.
I guess you could think of it like
It's,
that.
Opus 3 Legendary X-Death. It removes characters or
Everything.
Yeah, it removes
yeah, I just
everything.
don't,
Yeah, all
I can't remember if
characters.
it said
Yeah.
removes characters or removes these specific character types. Okay, so You can't even like leave these there and bank
Nope.
them up until after you have Grand Crossed
Nope.
and then draw
You
3
have to,
cards.
we have to respond to your
But you
hand
could
cross.
you could do that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I would give it. In that case, I'll give it 2+0.
Okay, yeah. 2+0, I think it's fine.
There.
I'm happy to not consider it slightly less.
yeah. Slightly less terrible.
Yeah.
But this next card is a definite 1+0, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's a 3-cost 6k Dragoon, standing unit forward. You pay 1 lightning CP, Dragon gains 2000 power until the end of the turn. You can only use that ability once per turn. It's
I like Dragoons and I don't like this card.
yeah, it's like you just rather play a 4-cost. Like just play
8K,
just
yeah.
play a 4-cost.
Well, the problem is like this Dragoon feels like it's only ever gonna find a constructed home in the Dragoons list, and
There's better
you don't
Dragoons.
have room in the Dragoons list for this Dragoon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think he warrants much discussion.
Like now that I slightly think about it more, he is a target for that gladiator backup in
Ooh.
water.
Yeah, but then you have the other 3-cost
I
dragoons,
know,
which
I
are
know,
also
I
good.
The
know.
other 3-cost Dragoons have either First Strike,
Or
which you
haste.
want,
Yeah,
or
or
Haste,
haste,
which
What
you
you
want.
want? I know. But
Or,
it's,
or even then, there are 2-cost Dragoons which can gain Haste or gain First Strike, which again, you still probably want more than this guy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
his... when you've got Kane in play, he starts off as a 3-cost 8k, so you can take him up to being a 3-cost +1 for 10k. But
I guess, yeah.
that's the dream that you're hoping to live with this card. And if you want a 10k Dragoon, you can just play Rickard, and he does other things anyway.
that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so 1+0.
Yep.
Okay. Next card is
The last lightning card.
the
of
last
set.
lightning card. Jared, do you want to finish
Sure
this off?
thing. He's a backup. He EX bursts, and he's called Restrictor. He's a Category 7 backup, and he reads, when Restrictor enters the field, you may search for 1 job Tzviets and add it to your hand. So he finds Azul, he finds Shelk, he finds Weiss, Nero, Rosso.
Well, so yeah.
Shalua is
Shalua.
not
Ooh.
a Tzviet.
Oh, yeah, she isn't.
But yeah, he's kind of neat.
He's also a job soldier. Is that relevant?
Not.
No,
Yes,
he can
is.
be.
Zach can bring him
Yeah,
back.
yeah, he can bring it back on the
I
breakdown.
think.
He can, yeah, he can. But the thing is that I kind of like this because that makes it a lightning ice. You can make a lightning ice Shulk deck that you can search for both sides of
Yeah, you
of
can
the
find-
Shulk, because the Mog 13-2 was searched for the Rigdia, and then this one was searched for the Shulk. So you're more likely to get that little Shulk combo.
I've just been looking through Lightning's getting a lot of 2-drops.
Exactly, yeah.
Opus IV.
Yeah.
Ninja comes
Yeah.
to mind as a very aggressive one.
So like not one might see lightning ice
Oh, Warrior.
Shulks.
Warrior is very good to put in with Shulk.
Yeah, especially since it's
Yes.
turn 1.
Yeah.
Or turn 2.
He can also find the backup. He doesn't say search for a 4. He can find the backup Shulk if you
Yeah,
want
if
to do
you,
as well.
if you're playing that in your
yeah,
deck.
yeah.
So I think there's the Tzviets are.
Can put in Ramza.
Hmm?
Can put in Ramza.
Oh yeah, can you?
Oh, yeah. Put in Ramza.
Might be worth considering.
And Ramza's a knight, also searchable.
Yeah,
Ramza's
searchable in
nice.
lightning, so
Yeah.
that it really gives consistency to that Shulk engine, I think.
Or even fire lightning to search for the Russo. I don't know why it would, but
Oh, you can live the full Weiss Shulk dream.
exactly.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
another thing,
The white
yeah.
Shulky. You play one of these EX1 and then play all of them.
The other reasons to be in fire are like you get to play Light Cloud, or both
Yeah,
either
yeah,
Light
yeah,
Clouds
yeah.
and.
And then you can
stuff
play
like that.
Angeal, and then you can play Zac,
Yeah.
and then you can
Yeah.
go
And
down
Jill
the
can
whole
find
lot.
Zac. Zac can find Cloud, and then you've also got these other guys
They can
messing
find,
around.
yeah.
And I mean, we've already said I don't think that Azul is a bad card.
Does this deck want Esthar Soldier?
I don't know.
No.
I think
Oh,
it's
well, I mean,
more
you could
mid-range
build
than
it.
it is
You can
aggressive.
build it to want Ishtar Soldier, but you can also just as easily build it not to want Ishtar Soldier.
I think
Yeah.
the like lightning ice ones with the Shulks probably do, but maybe not the lightning fire ones.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
What
And-
are, what are the spheres in fire?
Just Rosso.
Just Russell.
Yeah.
But like, this is just.
I always find that when you want to play Russo, you want to play the one cost, so the 1K
Libero.
power booster. Yeah, Libero. So it's
Russell's very hard to kill with Libero on board.
yeah.
We gave this card a a 3 for power. Do you guys think it deserves a +1 now after what we've talked about?
I mean, there are a lot of different lines.
Okay.
So
It's it's such a searcher, but it can make the Shulk lightning.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of
definitely.
different kinds of decks this card can go into.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think when a lot of people read it, it was like, what's Civet?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like
not something
how
you
many
consider,
how
yeah.
many cards are there in Civet? So there's actually quite a few.
It's
you know?
quite a stealthy good
Yeah.
card.
I had to look up this character. I mean, he's not actually a character that was featured in any 7 game
Really?
released outside of Japan.
Oh, okay.
He was only part of an additional content from Dirge of Cerberus that didn't make it into the Western release.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's okay. That's
That's an
something
interesting fact. 7 facts with Jared.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's pretty much it for our Lightning Set review from Opus 4. Let us know what you thought of this review and if you agree with us, you disagree with us, if we think we're all wrong.
Hopefully not.
I don't know, man. It turns out this Dragoon might be the next better thing.
We'll probably be laughing at ourselves in like 2 months' time.
I'm looking forward to going back and
Yeah.
hearing what we thought about all these cards, which
Yeah.
turned out to be
Yeah,
busted.
maybe in a
Oh,
future
like, terrible.
podcast we could
Yeah.
address how wrong we were or how right we were
Yeah,
about
yeah.
some cards.
Yeah, thanks for listening and come back next time for our Earth review. He did that on purpose. Okay, number 1 potato boss out.